Okay. Can you hear me fine so far? Okay. All right. Let's see. Can you see me? You can see me now, right? All right. It's pretty cool. Working this. I'm sort of just trying to get this working. It's like a million different things going on at once, different programs. And if you see this stuff in the background, you can just sort of ignore it. Those are like my lights. So I do, if you see me do like my weekly shows on YouTube, weekly videos, so you gotta have the bright lights there to be able to see you. So that's why I sort of got those in the background. Okay. So boom. So we got that recording, and whoever joins will just happen to join. But we're gonna get started. Okay. Um. Okay. Okay. All right. So okay. All right. So this is how it's gonna work. Although it's recording right now, this is we're not what's going to happen is this is a live recording of the class. So I'm doing so as you know, the name of the course is called More Productive Days, and a live recording of the class means that once I'm done with this class, that I'm gonna put it up for, it's gonna be up, for available for everybody. But I'm literally recording the class live right now. So there's gonna be certain points. I'm gonna go through each one of the modules or each one of the videos. So we're gonna go over a certain amount of videos today. And then once the videos are done, then I'm gonna come up, then there's gonna be a break period, and that break period is where you'll be able to ask questions about, the last module, the last topic we talked about, and you'll be able to, just ask any questions. Once all the questions are asked, or there's no more questions to answer, then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go into the next topic, and we're going to continue to do that. So that's going to take about, so between the questions and going through the topics and everything, I'm gonna try to get us out of here by 4 o'clock. Then we'll be done with this week's. And then sometime during the week, I'm gonna, sometime during the week, I'm gonna upload it to your members area. What I'll probably do is just upload like a raw version of it first, if you just want to refer back to it, and then later I'll chop it up and clean it up and put it into multiple videos. So right now this would be like, today it'd be like one long video that's like an hour. But then later, when I clean up the course, I'm just gonna chop it up, and all you're gonna see is the videos. So and then we're gonna do that for the next 5 weeks. So that's how that's gonna work. And then at the end is gonna be online product. So essentially, you're actually looking at, if you ever seen anybody sell like online products or do anything online, you're literally looking at how they actually do that online. So it's pretty exciting. And I know this is like the great way to do it, because I study, I follow a lot of people, and I have a lot of mentors, millionaires that I know personally. I can call that a mentors. So it's pretty cool. All right, so that's pretty much that. As far as my story, if you don't know my story yet, you'll learn it throughout this week. And right now, I didn't even jump into the course yet, by the way. So this is not like the official course yet. So, but you'll know because I'll start it, and then we'll go that way. But yeah, you'll learn my story along the way, okay? And then whoever joins, joins. Right now, this is like my first time doing this, so I don't know if something's going to chime in the background, if somebody joins, or whatever the case is. But whatever it is, I'm going to roll with the punches. All right, so we'll make it work. All right, and all right, so that's pretty much it as far as that goes. So I'm going to go ahead and we are going to get started with the very first video of the course, okay? Get some water. Okay. Hello, my name is Terrell Jones, and I'm excited right now. I'm very excited because this is my More Productive Days course that you are a part of. This is a 5-week course that you'll be able to use. You'll be able to use for your own personal or business benefit in order to help you get more things done throughout your day, throughout your week, your month, and your life. So I'm very excited about it because this is not just about me and my personal story and journey, but this is really a combination of some of the world's highest successful people, athletes, actors, just people who have really took their knowledge to become the pinnacle and top of their game. What have they done in order really to be successful? So if you don't really know my story that well, I'm not gonna really jump into it unless because my story's all over the web, and my social media, my videos, and my blog, my books, if you have any of that stuff. But for the past 10 years, I've had the blessing of being able to help students, help people just be more productive in their lives. And one of the ways that really helped me do that, not just in my lives, but also help other people be more productive as well, is being able to study and learn what the best do. So I don't really want you to look at this course as, okay, this is me and these are all the things that I'm doing right now. These are all the things that I'm great at, and look at me. It's not about that. It's more about what are the world's best and highest performing people doing, and what are the strategies and things that I've learned and then I was able to figure out through the hundreds and hundreds of books that I've read throughout the past 10 years of my journey, because that's when I really started getting serious about success and making things happen. It's been about a 10-year journey since back in my college days, right? So what have I the things that I've learned from hundreds and hundreds of podcasts and videos, and being able to have conversations and dozens of conversations with millionaires, personally telling really saying, okay, listen, Terrell, these are the things that you need to do to be successful. This is what it takes to be successful. And just the years of years, imagine just 10 years of just being able to get all the knowledge that you can from the people that are making the biggest difference in the world, and being able to take that knowledge and say, okay, how can I put this together in order to deliver in a way that's going to be most beneficial to people? So that is exactly what this More Productive Day course is. So I would recommend, make sure you're in the place while you're going through this course, not just today, but as you're going through this entire course, make sure that you are, you have your pen, your paper, you're ready to get it in, because this is going to be, if you really take this course seriously, this is really going to be the biggest game changer you've ever experienced in your life. But you have to take it seriously. You have to be the one that says, you know what, I'm not going to just sit and passively learn and say, you know what, okay, Terrell, those are some good ideas. You really got to be able to say, okay, look at it, look at your notes, look at what we're going to be going throughout all these 5 weeks of coursework, and then say, not only is this a good idea, but am I doing this? Am I really doing this right now? And not only am I really doing this, but also what kind of level of excellence am I doing this? Am I really doing this with consistency? Am I really doing this with the highest potential that I can hit and the highest level of excellence? So that is what we're looking at as we go throughout the course, and that's what I want you to constantly be thinking about. Okay, so right now this video is just a intro video, and what we'll be going through is we're just going to go through a little overview, and this is going to be the 5-week breakdown. So this is what we're going to learn over the next 5 weeks. Okay, so for week 1, right, which is this week, we're gonna learn why is productivity important. First, you got to understand the whole concept of it, and why is it so important to be productive anyway, right? This is the era right now where people are trying to be the most productive. People are trying to save the most time, right? That's why Uber came out of nowhere. That's why right now everybody is just, okay, how can I make things more convenient, more easy, make things go faster? Why is productivity important? We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about some of the basic foundations of Success 101. I'm also going to train you and teach you on how to discover what your true purpose is. What are you really here to do? How do you figure out that? How do you sort of think about it? Because so many people go down the wrong paths in life, and they realize they get to the end of their life and they didn't really even do anything they was passionate about, or they're in a dead-end job. So how do you really discover what your purpose is? And then we're also going to talk about what the mindset of achievement is. So that's what this week is going to be about. Going into next week, there's going to be sort of a part 2 of the mindset mastery, where we're going to be focused on your why, what's going to get you excited to do what you need to do. We're also going to be talking about how to master your mind for maximum productivity. So that's going to be very interesting. You want to know that. And then how do you put your success on a schedule? And this is just sort of, this is going to be a little bit more conceptual, because as the weeks continue to go on, that's when we're going to start drilling, and going more in depth with some of the practices and some of the things that you need to actually do. So this is just sort of getting your mind around, okay, I need a schedule to get things done. Okay, how does that work? So that's really what that is. And then we're going to talk about mastering daily and weekly motivation as well. How do you continue to stay motivated on a daily and on a weekly basis? So that's what we're going to be talking about in week number 2. Then in week number 3, everything, pretty much everything is centered around energy. One of the biggest things that I've learned from the people that's moving the world, that's moving the needle of the world, is they have energy to do it. And you probably know this. You need energy in order to continue to make a difference in the world. So I thought it'd be great if we talked for a whole week about what are some things that you can do to boost your energy. So some energy boosters. What is a good way to get a handle on your nutrition, and what are some good workout routines you can do as well. So also remember, as this, I'm not a doctor, or a physician or anything. So, if it's anything that I do recommend, in regards to this and certain nutrition things, make sure that you talk to your doctor, your nutritionist, whoever you have, so you can, make sure that you're safe as you're doing some of this stuff. All right, then week number 4, we're going to talk about unbreakable personal productivity. This is where we really get into the deep, practical productivity stuff. So we're talking about what are some proven ways you can do to achieve any product you want to achieve. What are some ways that you can set intentions for your day? Like, okay, this is a new day for me. I'm waking up fresh, brand new. What are my intentions that I really want to accomplish for today? We're going to talk about how to create and set daily goals on a tactical level. What is the impact planner, and how can you use that to plan your day? Impact planner is actually a tool that I created that you'll be able to use every single day, and this is going to keep you on track. It's sort of like a GPS, right? You use this and it's going to get you back on track, whether you get distracted or whatever. Then also we're going to talk about the pockets effect. What is that? So pockets effect is really talking about utilizing your spare time. We always have time where we stand on the line or we doing something. How do you really use those extra minutes that you have throughout the day? We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the pyramid of persuasion as well, which is how to influence other people to help support your goals so you can be more productive. Then week 5, we're going to talk about overcoming obstacles. So how do millionaires obliterate obstacles every single day? So you got to be able to look at, okay, there's something different that they're doing, because if they wasn't, they wouldn't be millionaires for a long time, right? Or some of the highest achieving people for long. So what are they doing to get through those obstacles every day? Then you want to look at, we're going to talk about how to destroy obstacles, how to put an end to procrastination, how to destroy the self-doubt that's within yourself, and then also those negative thoughts that continue to limit us, continue to hold us back, continue to slow down our progress. And then lastly, we're going to talk about how to overcome life's challenges. So that is what we're going to be looking at for the next 5 weeks. So this video is just sort of like an overview, so you know what to look forward to each and every week, and then also how to approach going through the rest of this course. Like I said earlier, make sure you have a pen, paper, writing down, different insights that you're getting. Make sure that you're looking at, okay, this is what I need to do. This is what is important to me. And just continue to come back each and every week and follow each and every video and do it to the best of your ability and to stay consistent. All right, so that's all we have for right now for the overview video. I'll see you back in the very first week 1, all right, of the More Productive Days course, and we will get started. All right, that was it. So that was the first video. All right, whew, so that was pretty much straightforward, right? Thank you. So that's pretty much straightforward, right? This is so right now this is the break. So this is what it's gonna look like every time we have breaks. So it'll be a break, ask you a question. So this is not recorded. This is not what I'm gonna put up. That's in the course. So do you have any questions or anything? I mean, I think that's pretty much straightforward. But if you have any questions or anything so far, if not, that's cool. I'm gonna keep trucking, keep moving along. But I just want to make sure that we're good. Okay. So if not,
oh no, I'm
good.
I'm good. If you don't hear me talking, if I just
That's good.
I put it on mute so you don't hear my kids and stuff in the background.
Beautiful. That's fine. That's perfect.
Okay.
That's perfect. All right. All right. So let's get into the next one. Okay. Okay. Why is productivity important? So this is a great conversation to have because, like I said earlier, the productivity right now is something that's hot. This is a hot topic, right? This is something that most people want to do. They want to be able to save time. They want to be able to get it done. They want to be able to hustle, right? If you know about Gary Vee and you know the whole movement, it's about getting things done, hustling, being productive. But why is it really important? I don't know if there's enough conversation around why is it important. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. So why is productivity important? Well, one, it gives you the ability to avoid stress and avoid regret, right? You don't want to have regret, but you want to be able to avoid regret. So that's what this gives you the ability to do. Now, one of the great things about this is, you want to be able to live a stress-free life. You want to be able to continue to shoot. All right, dropped off. Okay, all right, that's no problem. All right, hold on one moment. Okay, can you see the screen? Okay. Okay. Now can you see? Let me see. Can you see the slides? You can? Okay. All right, cool. All right, so this is all right. So now I know this is something that I got to make sure that I sort of fix, because if somebody falls off, the way Skype works is, and you call back, then it starts ringing, and then that's gonna be in the middle of my presentation. So I gotta figure out a way how to work around that. No, it's all right. It's fine because I'm still, like I said, I'm still trying to figure this Skype thing out as far as doing slideshows. Because basically, I'm doing like a screen share right now. That's why you can see all of this stuff on the side. So that's why I like ignore that part. Okay, all right, that's fine. So let me start back. Let me start back over. Okay, you're good. Why is productivity important? And this is a big conversation right now, right? Because this is the movement, and this is the time where everybody's just trying to get more done, get it in. This is like the year of the hustle, right? If you know about Gary Vee, it's hustle, get it in. It's do what you got to do to make things happen. But I don't think there's enough conversation around why productivity is important. So that's what we're going to talk about right now, because you need to also be in your mind say, okay, why am I being productive again? What's the whole point of it? So that's why this conversation is important right now when it's needed. So why is productivity important? One, it gives you the ability to avoid stress and regret. Now, have you ever been to an old folks home, or if you ever, read anything or read any studies, one of the biggest things that the older generation says is that they regret, and they regret doing things that they shouldn't have done. They regret not doing things that they felt like they should have did, right? So it's important that you be able to avoid that stress and avoid the regret that you're gonna get from just trying to make things happen, or just trying to but make things happen from like a negative standpoint, to where you're not being more of who you want to be, not giving more of yourself, not being able to give more of your family. So that's an important conversation, right? So you're going to make sure that you understand that. Next, it's also important that you look at what will give you internal happiness and satisfaction, that you're making progress. So what will really make you happy? What's going to get you excited about your internal happiness? What's going to get you make sure that you're satisfied, that you're making progress, and that you're making things happen? So if you want to be productive, it's like it's important that you feel that sense of pride, that sense of happiness at the fact that you're making it to the next level, because that's what you want to do, right? Essentially, it's important that you make it to the next level, but you won't if you feel like you're just trying to continuously go, continuously move, and continuously make things happen. But it's like you're not consistent, you're not doing to the best of your ability, and then your progress is moving slow, if not at all. You're not gonna feel that happiness. You're not gonna feel that sense of satisfaction. You're gonna feel like life. What's the point about life? That's why it's important to be productive. Also, you want to get more recognition and rewards, right? I mean, if you're being productive, you want to make sure that if you're being productive at your job, it would be nice to get recognized by your boss. It'd be nice to get certain things to be recognized, right? If you're more productive, let's say if in your business, or if you're an entrepreneur, you're going to get those rewards from other people, right? Whether it's, recognition, saying, hey, you changed my life, or whether it's money, or whatever the case is. You want to be able to to get that recognition and reward from other people, because it feels good. It feels good to us, and we know that we really making a difference. And then also you'll finally start noticing real world progress happening. Real world progress means that you actually be able to see in the real world that, hey, I'm making progress. You'll be able to see, hey, this is actually working. If you want to be productive with your body, you're saying, hey, now I'm starting to see some results. I see the abs coming in. I see the muscles popping out. Things is really happening right now for me. So that is what it really looks like to be more productive. Okay, so that's what it is, and yeah, and so that's where we're at as far as being more productive today. Okay, so we got a whole bunch of things just going on, popping off, pop pop, things happening, but but right now we are making things happen. Continue to roll with the punches, but the main thing that we want to know, that we want to get across, that I want to get across to you in this, is productivity is very important, and there's some internal things that makes you feel good about productivity, but there also is some real world things that you'll be able to see as well, that's going to make you very productive. Actually, let me see. Why is this? Let's see. Yup. 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 Nah. Yeah.
No, I was trying to pick up on you said the only thing you get is what? Oh yeah. I hear it in the middle of my backs. I need to start doing that. I don't do anything with my hair. Nothing. I just expect it to grow. 1 second, huh?
All right. Can you see the screen? No, not yet. Okay. Let's see. Can you see like the break area? You can see this. Okay. All right. Cool. Let's see. Let's see. Quit options status. No, there was a way. Okay. All right. So we're just gonna move on to the. We're gonna move on to the next one. Okay. All right. So we're gonna move on. We're gonna move on to the next one. Okay. So we'll see how it goes. All right. All right. So. All right. So success 101. Okay. All right, so this video right now is talking about Success 101. This is sort of like the foundation, the basics that you really need to understand about success. What are some of the key things you need to be doing, thinking about when it really just comes to success? There's certain like a foundational things that I've noticed from my research and from me just being able from talking to world's highest achieving people, millionaires, and just from learning what have I really noticed as far as when it comes to success. These are some of like the foundational basic things that I've learned throughout, my 10 plus years of really being serious within personal development and productivity. So let's just go ahead and jump in. So success for 101. One of the first things that I noticed is that everybody who's who's really successful, that's really making a difference in this world, they have a clear vision and purpose for their life. They understand that what they want to do. They understand what their purpose is, and we're gonna jump into purpose actually next in order to really figure out, okay, how do you think about what your purpose is, what it could be. But right now, just from a 30,000 foot level, what do you really need to be focused on and pay attention to as far as getting a clear vision and getting a purpose? Because the last thing you want to do is go throughout your life and then realize, oh man, I've spent the last 10, 20, 30 years of my life doing something I'm not even passionate about, that I really don't even care. So how do you really figure out what that vision is? So we're gonna talk about what that vision and what that purpose is. But just so you know, successful people know what their vision and their purpose is, and it's important. It's very important when it comes to being productive, because at the end of the day, you got to know, what are you working towards. What is your purpose? You don't want to just be productive towards something that you don't care about. So that's very important. Also, you got to find some juicy reasons to stay motivated, right? Also known as your why. What is your why? What's going to keep you going every day? What's going to make you wake up when you're tired, you sleeping in bed, and you hear that alarm go off, right? What's going to make you not just hit the snooze button? What's going to help you wake up? What's going to help you stay up late when you got to study? Help you stay up late when you're trying to start that business? What's going to help you stay up? What's going to help you make things happen when times get hard at your job, or when times get hard and you're working out and you're trying to get the body that you want, right? What's going to help you keep going? So that's first figuring out with certain things, like, okay, well, is it my family? What's going to keep me going? Is it because I want to feel good about myself? I want more energy. You got to find those whys. And we're actually going to talk about that as well. Like, as far as what do you really need to, how do I keep myself motivated? How do I use my why to pull me when I don't feel like doing things? So that's another thing that I've noticed. Also, you got to do some research and development, right? Whatever the case is, whatever goal you're trying to complete, you got to be able to do some research and not do things from scratch. Stop trying to figure out things from scratch and just building and just try to think up, okay, maybe I should do this, maybe I should do that. The world's most successful people, what they do is they don't just come up with things from off the top of their head. They get the world's best coaches, and that's also called the modeling approach. I have a mentor named by the name of Anthony Robbins, where he always talks about modeling what the best people do, the highest, most, whatever field it is, right? So if you're trying to be a bodybuilder, or if you're just trying to get your body right, you want to know, okay, what's the fastest and best way I can do that? If you want to be, the best mom, the best dad, if you want to be able to have, be a successful, entrepreneur, or a trainer, or whatever you're trying to do, best copywriter, best whatever it is, right? Whatever field it is, you got to figure out what are the most successful people doing in that area. Typically, I say if you could find at least minimum like a good 3 to 5 people, and then see, okay, what is everybody doing? Let me see if I can model them. Okay, so so these people seem like they all care about their health. And that's essentially, if you look at this, that's essentially what I was doing for the past 10 plus years in my life, right? As far as research and development. That's all it was. I said, okay, what are the world's, highest, most successful, people doing, right? World's richest people. What are they doing? What do they all really have in common? And guess what they all have in common when it comes to being productive and actually getting to where they want to get to and making things happen? It's everything that you're learning in this course, right? So, but you have to do that for whatever your field is, whatever you're trying to accomplish, whatever your goal is, right? You got to be able to research and then say, okay, what is everybody doing? Okay, let me model it. It seems like they all doing these 5 to maybe 7, maybe I would say no more than like 9 to 10 things. Don't make it too many things like, well, all these people in my field, to be the best chefs or cooks or whatever the case is. It seems like they're doing these 100 things. No, you don't want to break it down. That's too much things. You're going to get overwhelmed and you're not going to do it. Figure out what are the main things that they're doing. Maybe top 5 things, top 6 things, and then say, okay, these are the things that I'm gonna focus on in order to get to whatever my goal is. But I call it research and development. Other people they call it modeling what other people are doing. Don't start from scratch. Then you want to be able to create a project plan. So that really is, and it's not as complicated as it sounds. A project, all it is just saying, okay, this is a goal, this is a project, this is a goal that I have. One, this is my vision. This is what I have. Then you're gonna say, okay, I'm gonna make this into a project. And the only thing with a project, when you hear a project, just know that it has a definite start and end date. That's all it really is. You want to accomplish some activity or some set of activities within a start date and an end date. You're not gonna be doing this forever, right? So when do you want it to start? When do you want it to end? So once you figure out, okay, this is my goal, this is what I want to do, this is my start end date, these are the activities that I want to do in between, right? So let's say if you came up with 7 things. All right, well, these are the 7 biggest things I need to do to accomplish that goal. And then you're gonna say, okay, now let me sort of try to put this in a let me try to prioritize this out and say, when am I gonna do this? And now let's say there's 5 or 6, 7 things, 8 things, whatever it is, right? Once you have those things, understand those are not necessarily daily task. Those just might be big things that you need to do. But within each one of those things, those 5, 6 things, you want to be able to, there might be like 15 to 20 things you got to do, or 10 things you got to do just to accomplish that one level. But you got to understand what the levels are. So that's why it's important to be able to create, do the research and development, and then also create a plan for it. And then now we're looking at scheduling it out. So you might really, if you want to accomplish any goal, it might be 100 things that you have to do. But I want you to be able to say, okay, well, out of these 5 things that I need to accomplish, that big things I need to accomplish, all right, I know this has about 10 things I need to do. This one maybe has about 5 things I have to do. This one might only have 3 things. This one might have 10 things. So you got to be able to say, okay, now I have everything that I need to accomplish for each one of these goals. Now let me schedule it. And that's what that means, actually opening up your schedule or looking through your phone, right? Looking through your phone and saying, okay, when am I going to actually do this? That's the important part. Because if it's not on your calendar, if it's not on your schedule, it's likely you're not going to do it, right? So you got to make sure that you put it on your calendar, on your schedule, so you can do it. Okay, I work a 9 to 5. All right, so I know I can't do it during 9 to 5, right? Okay, well, I do have an hour lunch, so I have an hour to do something. Okay, so I don't care what it is. Right now, like for me, one of the things I'm doing right now is, I'm planning out a wedding. I'm getting ready to get married soon, right? So for me, I have to make sure that I have certain times throughout my day, to work towards making sure that the wedding happens. So I got to look at, okay, well, I got about an hour break for lunch. I know, when I get home, I have a few hours. In the morning, I may have like a good 30 minutes. So I'll say, okay, these are certain things that I have to do. All right, I have this hour, so let me use this hour, to call some vendors, to call people, to make some payments, to run to the bank. Let me do this, that, and the third, right? Now, you have to do that for your life because you have to actually schedule it and put it on the calendar. We're going to talk more about that in detail, but just understand that when it comes to really being successful, one of them, and being productive, you have to schedule it. If you're not scheduling it, then you're not going to even think about it. You're going to forget about it, and your dream is going to go down the drain. And then you want to be able to create habits and routines for yourself. So that means that every day you got to be able to have some habits in place, right? You got to have some routines in place. So you got to, because sometimes we forget to do things. Sometimes it's like, some days we feel like doing it, some days we don't. But if you have a habit and routine in place, then you're going to be able to make it to that next level. All right, and then next, use social intervention. Social intervention is really, and I really like this one because this is something that most people don't think about. When it comes to you wanting to get things done, sometimes it's hard to just continuously motivate yourself. But it's good if you can get some friends around you. If you could join some groups, either might be a Facebook group, live group, whatever the case is. But it's great if you could get some people around you that's also working towards the goal as well. All right, or at least hold you accountable when it comes to getting that goal. So let's say if you're trying to work out, right, you're trying to get fit, trying to get these muscles, right, but then the next day you're tired, you don't feel like going. Well, you might have, if you have like a workout partner, they'll give you a call like, hey, listen, it's time to get it in. We got to go to the gym. Let's do this, right? Or if you have a wife, a husband, a spouse, boyfriend, girlfriend, best friend, whatever, whoever, right? And as long as they, if you have somebody that's gonna hold you accountable, let's say within a month, let's just look at 30 days. Well, if you was by yourself, you would probably work out about a good 7 out of those 30 days. But if you got somebody that's saying, hey, let's do it, let's get it in, let's work out, let's eat healthy, let's get this project plan done, let's get this done at work, let's get this business done, let's do this call, whatever the case is, you're gonna start noticing that, oh, I'm getting a lot more done out of these 30 days. Now you might be getting it in like 25, 26, 27 out of 30 days now because you got that social intervention going. And then also ultimately focus. The world's most successful people, what they do is they are laser focused on what they want. They know what they want to accomplish. They have a great idea, great sense of, okay, this is the amount of time that I have to work on something, and this is what I'm gonna be paying attention to. So they're not looking at social media. They're not looking at, we're gonna talk about that, but they're not doing other things. If they know they have a certain amount of time, they pay attention within that amount of time. I have an hour to do this. I'll have 30 minutes for this meeting. They're not going to be, in a meeting on their phone or doing other things, right? Some people may get by and become successful with it, but long term, it's really going to be hard for you to be successful if you're not focused at the it's called time on task. If you're not paying attention, doing time on task, then you're not going to be as focused as you could be, or you're not going to get into what most experts say flow, right? And flow is you just getting into the motion of doing something. You ever been so much in flow, like working on a project, writing a paper, doing something where you just typing, you just going away, you just in that flow, you just in it, things are just coming, words are just pouring out of you, you could just make things happen, or you just drawing and it's just, you just making it happen. Well, that's flow. But it's hard for you to get in the flow if you're not focused, if you keep getting distracted every 2-3 minutes on your phone, checking Instagram, Facebook, World Star Hip Hop, wherever you at, right? Is checking your email. So you got to be able to stay focused, and that's what I've noticed that most of these people are doing. They making sure that they stay focused on what they need to do and accomplish. All right. So that was the first one. Actually, that was the Success 101. So right now we have two more to go. Break this one and two more to go, and I know we're running a little bit short on time, but I'm gonna try to get us out of here by 4 o'clock still. Okay, at least around it, so we'll see. All right. All right, do you have any questions or anything? Have anything you want to know? Any questions? Anything that I said might have been confusing, or all right. All right, so if there's no questions, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna move on if there's no questions, okay? All right. Okay. All right, so this video is about discovering your purpose. What's your purpose? What are you really called to do, and how do you figure that out? You see some of the people who's moving fast, like they moving throughout their life fast, or they hitting the top pinnacles of whatever they do, right? Let's say like a Floyd Mayweather, or some of the world's best, highest performing athletes and people in this world. How are they doing that? Well, they understand what their purpose is from a young age. And even if you're not young, it's all right. I don't care if you are 30 or you 40 or you 50 years old. It doesn't matter. As soon as you find your purpose, change the course of your direction and keep on going. But that's what we're going to talk about today. How do you really determine what your purpose is? So that's what we're looking at today. So first, when it comes to discovering your purpose, these are some of the questions I want you to ask yourself and really think about these. And I would even suggest even writing these down, or just making sure that you just take some time to realize this, because this is a very important exercise. The reason this is important because you want to make sure that you are going down the right path and you're doing things that you enjoy and that feel good to you. So ask yourself these type of questions. One, what do you enjoy doing on your spare time? What is it? Do you enjoy reading, writing? Maybe it might be playing sports. Are you a tech geek? Do you like fashion? Like maybe you like shopping on your spare time. Whatever the case is, you like playing music on your spare time. What do you really like to do on your spare time? That'll give you a good idea of things that you like to do, because nobody's forcing you to do it, right? It's not like school or whatever the case is. Nobody's forcing you to do it. So what do you really enjoy doing on your spare time? So sort of think about that, and that'll help start getting you in the right direction. Two, what do you like talking to people about? What do you have in conversations around? Do you talk about, do you talk about politics, or do you like to talk about, for me, like I'm sort of a geek, so like I talk about, I like stuff like this, right? So I like things about, being productive. I like talking about things about getting better, making myself a better person, giving back to the world, doing things of that nature, right? So I talk to people about it. I try to live enthusiastic. I try to talk to people, see what their goals are, see what their ambitions are. I like to encourage people when they tell me what their goals, their ambitions are, things that they want to do in their life, right? And if you know me, if you talk to me before, you can sort of get a sense that, that I care about that, right? So, but what do you like talking about? What do you really care about? So it's start thinking about those things, because as you talking to those things, you be like, you know what? I really talk about computers a lot, or you know what? I really talk about talk shows. I really talk about basketball. I really talk about different things. So as you start thinking about, okay, what is important to me, what I like talking about, you'll start to see what's more important to you. Then look at, okay, what activities can you do and lose track of time? What do you really like to do and you notice that you lose track of time when you're doing it? Is it, reading about cars? Is it whatever the case is? But what can you do that's really allowing you to lose track of time? So like for me, I like to read. So I can easily lose track of time when I'm reading, especially if I'm reading like, a biography, or if I'm reading some kind of, personal development book, that's talking about psychology, that's talking about, that's talking about, bettering yourself, maybe self-discipline or whatever the case is. How do you, I can see myself, I lose time in that. Or like if I'm watching videos online on YouTube or something, I can literally watch hours and hours of YouTube, or listen to hours of audio, right? And just be kind of thinking about things. So, what can you do and lose track of time? That'll also tell you that this is fun to you, because if it's anything, if it's anything that's not fun or that you don't care about, you're gonna be looking at the time like every 5 seconds, like, okay, what can I do? When is this over? I can't wait. So that's how you really know if it's something that you're interested in, or if it's your purpose. Then also I want you to look at, what do you enjoy learning about? Notice what are the things that you're reading online. What are articles that you continuously find yourself reading on? What are books? What are videos you continuously find yourself looking at and reading on? So those are some of the type things that you really want to start thinking about when it comes to, okay, my purpose. What I really enjoy doing. So I want you to look at that as well. And then also, what would you do for free? What would you do? What do you like to do for free? Now, this one is like, okay, well, if I have a hobby, or if I have something that I really enjoy, that don't necessarily mean I'll do it for free. But you have to ask that question too, because many times on a path to whatever you want to do, you're going to have to start off doing it for free. Like before, like when I first started this industry, it started, doing, helping people, being productive. When I first started doing coaching, these things, these are things that I did all for free. Even today, I still do a lot of things for free. But now, I'm getting paid for doing things now. For speaking and doing coaching and like doing programs like this, right? So it's like, I'm now, for my books and things that I have online. So now I'm starting to get money. But when I first started doing these things, I wasn't getting paid, but I enjoyed it. It was my passion, is what I enjoy doing. Even when I did my career, right? From my school, I went to school for computer engineering. As I went through school, I graduated, and my career was cybersecurity. So my whole, my tenure of my career on the side, while I was still teaching, mentoring, helping people be productive, my career, and this is a career I'm still in today. My career is cybersecurity. This is what I do. But when I first started off to get into this career of cybersecurity, I was doing internships for free. I wasn't getting paid initially. I was just going, learning, just building my resume. And then next thing you know, boom, I graduate. I get a $21 billion Fortune 500 company to hire me, right? And then they love me so much and say, hey, you got so much experience just for coming out of school. Why? Because I did it for free. And they said, you know what? We want to send you back to school, and they pay for my master's degree. But that would have never happened had I not figured out, okay, well, I like computers, I like cybersecurity, and I'm willing to do this for free right now because I know it's going to pay you off later. And so you got to understand, okay, what really, would I really do this for free? And then also, figure out what are your strengths. Usually, not all the time, but usually, if it's something that you're naturally strong at, something that you're naturally just good at, that might be a good indication that it's something that you want to do, or something that you're interested in, or something that's compelled to you. That compels you. That's sort of like an instinct within you that makes you want to that that helps you say, hey, this is what I want to do, this is what I want to accomplish, this is my purpose, right? So that you might be called for that. Now, I'm also going to give you a bonus. The bonus tip on this is take the Myers-Briggs personality test. If you're not familiar with the Myers-Briggs test, it's basically what it is. It is like all it is a personality test. You answer a set of questions, and what they'll tell you at the end, is basically what's your personality type. What do what do you enjoy doing? And it's almost like mind blowing the way the amount of accuracy that they have on it. But it tells you, sort of what do you like to do, and it also says, hey, these might be some good careers for yourself. So it's a good way to sort of understand yourself, to understand your tendencies, and it'll also help confirm some of the things that interest you, or things that you want to do. Now, as you're looking at all of these questions, you don't necessarily have to say whatever you choose, or whatever goal or whatever dream you have, or whatever you're trying to accomplish. You don't necessarily have to pass every single one of these checks. So I don't want you to say, okay, well, if it doesn't pass all of these, then it must not be my purpose or what I want to do. But these are just these are just, hopefully it does check out a few of these. But I really just want you to think about this, because this at least will get you in the right direction. But take the Myers-Briggs test. If you get an example, you can just Google it, and you'll be able to take that or similar test. It might cost some money as well, but I think it's a good investment. Next bonus tool, you could also take the Strength Finders test. And what this Strength Finders test is going to help you find out, okay, what are your natural strengths and your natural tendencies. And this one blew my mind as well. This one is, comes with the book, and if you get the book, in the back of the book, it'll give you a code. Well, at the time, of this recording, this is how they doing it. So they'll have a code, and you'll be able to go to the site, and then you'll be able to take what the strength find. You'll be able to find out what your strengths are. And when I did it, it was on point. It said one of the things that was me, that I'm enthusiastic and positive. If you pretty much know me, you know that's me. It says that I'm a learner, that I love to learn, which is me. It said that for me, that I like to write things down. I like to take notes. That's me. It was mind blowing, the amount of accuracy that it had about what my strengths are and what I like to do. So I highly recommend the Strength Finders test. Any of these tests, it's not perfect, but it'll get you in a ballpark, because sometimes, depending on maybe your mood, or when, it depends on how you feel when you take the test. It might fluctuate the results, but to me, I think it'll get you in a good ballpark, just to get your mind wrapped around, okay, what is my personality like, and what are my strengths. So go through this exercise, take some time, revisit this video again, pause it, stop it, think about it, write down your answers to these different things. You might just want to journal it out, and just sort of get a good idea of, am I really on path right now? Am I really on my purpose, and things that to things that I want to do and accomplish in my life? You do this exercise, and you will find a lot of value. And then everything that's coming in the rest of today and the rest of these weeks is just going to be easy, because now you know what's important to you, and you're going to be able to move ahead a lot faster. All right. Woo! Woo! All right, so that was the I don't know how many videos we are right now. I think we like 3 videos in, but we got one more left. So this one was about discovering your purpose, obviously. So I mean, is there any questions around what you need to do in order to discover your purpose? What are some things you need to think about? Just anything. Or are you good? If you good, we'll just keep chucking away. That's it. I know we got about 5 minutes left, so we'll keep on going. Yeah, I can hear you. All right, good. What'd you say? Oh, I can't hear you
Oh,
now.
can you hear me?
Now I can hear you. Yeah. Oh, I guess you gotta put it close because when you put it down, I can't hear you anymore. For some reason, I don't know.
So, my
You gotta talk louder. Put it closer. Talk louder.
I'm trying to figure out what I want to do for Ed.
Okay.
I'm doing the jewelry. That's my first,
Right.
and I'm trying to get that.
Okay. Hold up. Oh, you know what? I think you got a short. I think you might have a short. Cause let me see. Actually, if you could talk, you could just take your headphones out and talk if that's easier. Okay. Shut up. Oh, nope, nope. That still can't hear you. Sorry. Nope. I still can't. I still can't hear you. I heard pieces of what you said. I know you said you was talking about, you was doing the jewelry, and we talked about that earlier. So I know you wanted. That's. Are you trying to figure out, if the jewelry is something that you're passionate about, or if you're trying to figure out. Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know if there's a good way. Do you have either another set of headphones, or if you want to type it in, that might be good as well. Type in your question. You want to try that? Okay. Yeah. Try typing in your question and then seeing if it works, and then I can answer that for you. All right. Did you type it in? Because I can't hear you. I think I heard pieces of it when you had it in, when you was sort of moving your headpiece, but like I said, it might have a short in it, so I don't know. So if you type it in, it'll probably be easier for me to answer your question. Did you write your question? Are you still typing? Okay, you're still typing. Okay. Okay. All right. So you say that I know I love jewelry and I used to make my own and sell it as a kid, but I also want to help my parents with graphic design. How can I balance the two? Okay. That's a good question. So if you know you want to do both, then you say, hey, I love my parents' business because you could like enjoy multiple things, right? For me, it was cybersecurity, and was helping people be more productive, right? So if you want to be able to balance the two, that's we're gonna talk more about that in one of our future weeks. I think that's gonna be let me see. We're gonna talk more about that in I want to say week like week 4. But we're gonna talk more about that anyway throughout the weeks. I'm gonna keep alluding to it, but just the overall quick answer right now I would say is, if you want to be able to balance the two, all it is about rearranging your schedule in order to do that. What do your parents need from you first, and then figure out what times throughout the day do you have to dedicate to it. You only might have like an hour to put towards it, right? So if you only have let's say if you only have an hour or 2 hours, how many ever hours you have to put towards the business so you could do graphic design, then that'll be the time that you'll do graphic design. If you want to do, you also want to continue to sell your jewelry, then you got to set time in your schedule. Actually put it in your phone. Like I use Google Calendar. You can use that if you want, or some people like to use the paper calendars. But also make sure that you put time aside in your schedule to also do that as well. So you could do things simultaneously, but it's just all about scheduling it so everything moves forward together at the same time. You get what I'm saying? So that's fine. If you're passionate about both and you want to do both, just make sure that there's time every day to do both. That's it. Even if it's only 30 minutes, even if you only could put 30 minutes, you really want to help your parents more, right? So even if you only could put 30 minutes towards, building your business, or, or whatever the case is, you'll say, okay, well, I'm gonna put at least 30 minutes to getting people to buy my jewelry. 30 minutes. Whether that don't mean whatever it is. So you might say, all right, 30 minutes. I might not call people today to get the jewelry, but I might spend this 30 minutes investing, learning on how to sell jewelry. You get what I'm saying? But as long as you put some time to it every day, you're gonna be good to go. All right. So hopefully that helped. Oh, you got one more? Go ahead. Sure. Shoot away. You still typing in your question? Okay. Okay. All right. So Tashana says, I'm a little shy, so it's hard for me to interact with people unless I'm forced to. Okay. But I noticed that I can sell jewelry on hand, person to person better than I can online. What am I doing? What am I doing different, or what can I do better? Okay, interesting. Okay, well, this is more of a selling question as opposed to a productivity question. But I will, I will help you to the best of my ability answering this question. So you want to know, how can you better make sales online? Okay, well, and it's funny because I actually did talk about this a little bit under the Success 101 module video, and it's basically called modeling. So modeling is basically, I don't know if you remember that, but modeling is basically just figuring out what other people are doing, and then talk to them or see, and then just mimic what they're doing. So if you notice that, okay, well, I'm a little weak selling it hand to hand, I'm good. If I get a chance to talk to you, we good. You might buy, but online is different. Then you want to find out you're not the first person in the world that's selling jewelry online, right? So you want to figure out what are other people who are selling online, either jewelry or other things. How are they selling it? What are they really doing? How are they selling it through social media? For me, selling an online course online may be a little bit different than selling jewelry, but I know one thing, that you want to make sure that you get people, one, you get followers that are people who are into jewelry. So like for me, you got to be into personal development if you want to follow, if you want to take a course like this, right? You got to be into productivity. You got to be into wanting to better yourself and do better. Like there's a lot of people who wouldn't take this course because it don't interest them, and it don't interest them because they don't, not necessarily they don't want to make progress in their life, but it's just like that they're not in the time in their life right now where they really want to be able to be more productive towards their goals or take a course. You get what I'm saying? So you want to make sure, one, that you following people. Let's say if you specifically talking about social media, right? You probably a lot of it talking about social media. So it's like you want to make sure that you have. I'm gonna give you two great points right now that you could take with you. Make sure that people that's following you are people who are interested in jewelry. How do you figure that out? Well, one, follow other jewelry pages. Follow other people, follow other jewelry pages, and then look at and then I would say either start commenting in their comments saying, just educating people on jewelry, letting them know certain things. Because sometimes when you educate people, they look at you like, oh, you must be like you must be like you must be like an expert in jewelry. You get what I'm saying? So you want to make sure that you go to those other jewelry pages. So I would say find like find all the jewelry pages that you can, especially some of the top jewelry pages, and then go on there and start following people who follow jewelry. Follow, so like if you you're on Instagram, so follow people that follow jewelry, and then naturally when you follow somebody, naturally what they're gonna do, they're gonna look back at your profile, right? And now when they look at your profile, oh, she sells jewelry. I like jewelry. She sells jewelry. Let me follow her. And then now you're gonna start building a list of followers who like jewelry. And then at some point in time you want to make sure that your pictures that you put on Instagram or Facebook on social media, they look good. So if you got jewelry that looks good, make sure that you take good pictures. So make sure your pictures are not blurry. Make sure the pictures look nice. So that's why it's also important to see how other people are posting their pictures. Are they posting it with they jewelry just laying out on the floor, or are they posting it with their jewelry on people with nice makeup on? You get what I'm saying? So like you got to make sure that you're doing that. And then the second thing I would say is make sure that you get a list of if you can collect names and emails of people who like jewelry, that'll make it a lot easier for you to sell it to online. Because let's say if you went to like a jewelry conference, or like let's say if you went to, let's say if you just talking to somebody in the street, right? And they talking to you about jewelry, maybe they want to buy, maybe they won't want to buy. But which if you can get their name and email address, and then once you get their name and email, you'll be able to at a later time write to them via email and then say, hey, I got a new piece of jewelry, I got this, you can keep in contact. The main thing is you want to be able to keep in contact with people. And doing email is one of the best ways to keep in contact with people. And just let them know certain things that you have. You might just want to keep them updated with your life, tell them stories. It's sort of similar. It's pretty much similar to how how I'm doing the course. Like, how did you figure this out, right? I'm sending emails to you about it, right? Letting you know about it. And me doing that, some people who are on my email list, they decided to buy it. So you got to be able to keep in contact with people. So I would say do those two things on social media. Follow people. Make sure that you commenting and you getting involved in the community and the conversations. Make sure you have nice pictures, and then also you want to be able to keep in contact with people, because social media, people scrolling real quick. So you're not going to be able to catch that many people. But if you're able to get their name and email address, people check their email. So then that's when, if you could build up 100, 200, 300. Imagine if you had a list of 1,000 people that like jewelry, and you could send out an email and say, I got a new piece of jewelry with a nice little picture in the email, and say, hey, if you're interested in this, buy it. Or imagine if you decided to have like a little, let's say if you wanted to have a jewelry party, because I knew somebody who used to sell jewelry, and sometimes they used to do jewelry parties, right? So imagine if you had a list of 100 or 1,000 people that's in your area, and lived in your neighborhood, and you say, I'm having a jewelry party at my house this weekend. I mean, out of 1,000, you might get at least 50 people to come, right? So it'd be easy for you to let people know those things. All right. So hopefully that helped. All right. So let's get in. All right. It's 4:10. We're gonna have to hurry this up. This is the last This is going to be the last video that we have for today. And this one is the mindset of achievement. Okay. All right, so the last video of week number 1. This is the mindset of achievement. What are some of the things that you need to be thinking about? You need to have on your mind in order to be successful, in order to achieve more. What are the world's best, highest performance people are doing? What are the things that they're really thinking about? What's in their mind? So I want to do something very special for this one, and I wanted to just give you something that's very simple, but that's straight to the point and that's straightforward. So I'm gonna sort of go through these pretty quick, but I don't want you to think that they're not important, because this is very important when it comes to the mindset. Mindset is more of a psychology. What do you really need to be thinking about? I need you to sort of shift your mind in a way from, okay, this is how I need to be thinking when it comes to me achieving anything. When it comes to you want to achieve anything, any goal or anything, this is the mindset that I want you to have. These 10 things, okay? So that we're going to dive right in. So one, I want you to focus on what's within your control. What can you do? There's certain things in this world that you don't have control over that you can't do. Right? You can't do nothing about that. So many people get so upset and so frustrated about things that's not within their control. You can't control who the president is. You can have a part in the conversation, right? But you can't control who the president is. So why you spend so much time just being so excited over things that you don't really have any control over? I mean, you always want to pay attention to. You always want to know what's going on. But don't blame the president or don't blame somebody else in this world, and you don't have control over other people. You don't have control over those type of things. So focus on what you can control. So what is that? So somebody says, okay, well, Terrell, well, what can I control? Well, you can control what time you wake up. You control what time you go to sleep. You can control what you eat throughout the day and put in your mouth, right? Because that's going to determine the type of energy you have throughout the day, right? You control what you put your time, your energy, your attention, your focus on, right? Those are things that you can control. Oh, the others, you can control whether you decide to work out. So you got to keep that in mind. Okay, what can I control? And then the things that you can control, those are the things that you need to be doing. So that's the type of mindset you need to have. 2, practice don't make perfect. Deliberate practice makes perfect. What does that mean? Deliberate practice. Deliberate practice means that when it's time for you to practice for something, when it's time for you to prepare for something, don't just prepare just to prepare. Because you could be a person, you could practice something for 10 years, but you'll never accomplish your goal, or you won't even make progress. How is that possible if you're practicing? Because you're not being purposeful in what you're practicing. So deliberate practice means that anytime I go into practice or prepare, like let's say you might have seen my speeches online, right? You've seen me go to schools and organizations and different things, and you saw me do speeches. Well, before I go do any speech, I make sure that I practice. But I don't just practice by just speaking. I make sure that when I speak, while I'm practicing, that I have a goal while I'm practicing. And that's what it has to be, because every time you practice, you want to make sure you're getting closer to that goal. So to me, it might be a certain way that I say something, a certain amount, a certain way that I say a word, or it might be something that I want to add in my speech. It might be the gesture that I make. Whatever the case is, you got to be specific and deliberate about what do I need to practice, what do I need to do in order to practice successfully. And that's where it's going to come in for you, making things move faster, forward faster when it comes to your progress. All right, and then remember, consistency always wins. So you've got to stay more consistent on whatever you're doing. Just continuously be consistent, continuously be moving forward, and that's always going to win. All right, so whatever you're doing, if it's working, you got to be consistent with it, because everybody could be consistent every once in a while, but you won't achieve more, you won't make progress, you won't be productive if you just being consistent every once in a while. So at the end of the day, consistency is always going to win. Now, keep in mind, 80% of success is mindset. 20% is ability. And this is similar to I sort of mixed it up a little bit, but this is similar to a quote that one of my mentors, Tony Robbins, said, which basically 80% of success is psychology, and the 20% is sort of like tactics, or sort of it's basically like tactics. And what is that? And what this quote is saying is that 80% of success is all in your mind, If you want to be successful at anything, if you want to achieve anything, achieve any goal, dream, whatever it is, 80% of that is in your mind, which means that, if it's like, let's say, for example, let's say if you're in sales, right, and you got to make some phone calls, you got to sell something to make phone calls. Well, actually picking up the phone and making a call and talking to somebody is easy. That's the 20% of the ability. Are you able to do that? Yes, that's real. That's easy. Where 80% of it comes in is you having the confidence enough to pick up the phone and call. You getting over the things in your mind that's saying, "Oh, can I do this? Am I worth it? Is it gonna be worth it? Is it gonna be too hard for me to call? I don't want to look. I don't want to be embarrassed. I don't want to be this. It's gonna be. I don't want to be disappointed." 80% of success is your mindset. So if you can be able to get your mindset, if you get your mindset straight and understand that, okay, this is going to help me, this is going to support me. If you're telling yourself the things that you need to tell yourself to be successful, you'll be fine. Because at the end of the day, once you're done, 20% of it is just ability. Are you able to actually perform the action and do it? That's usually the easiest part. Psychology is always the first. Then 5, you gotta have faith. You gotta have faith in yourself. Have faith in whether you are, whether you can have the ability to do it or not. Especially if you've been doing a deliberate practice that we've been talking about, right? Then have faith in yourself that you're able to accomplish your goals. You're able to do what you want to do and make things happen. Sometimes we don't know how things are going to turn out. But you got to be able to have the faith and the confidence in yourself to say, all right, you know what? I know this is going to turn out well. And just take that step of faith. Take that leap of faith. We heard it before. The number 6, I need you to be obsessive. The rest of these, you just gonna have to obsess about a few things. These are the few things you gotta obsess over. One, be obsessive. Be obsessive over your time. That means, what is the amount of time that you're spending on things? Are you spending too much time on Facebook? Too much time on this? Too much? Like, where are you spending your time at? You got to make sure that you're spending your time in the correct places because life is too short. And you want to make sure that you're spending your time in the right places. So I want you to obsess over your schedule. Obsess over, okay, what do I have to do? What's important? What do I get to do? What's on my schedule? What's important? Because sometimes, if you scheduling time to, watch TV or scheduling time to do certain things or talk on the phone, things might just get out of hand, and now it's bleeding over to your schedule and other things that you have to do. So you have to obsess. Okay, what do I have to do today? Okay, these are the 5 things that I want to accomplish. These are the 5 things that I'm going to accomplish today. So make sure that you obsess over your schedule. So that means have a planner. That means have, on your phone, Google Calendar, whatever you got to do. Make sure that you're obsessive over your schedule. I need you to obsess over your attention. Be obsessive over where your attention is going. Is your attention going to things that don't really make a difference in your life? Is your attention really going in? And this is a serious topic because people are doing so many things that's not really helping them move forward in their life. And then going years and years and decades putting their attention towards things that are not going to matter at the end of their life. I got a mentor. His name is Brendan Bouchard, multi-millionaire. And he got in a life-changing, altering situation to where, he almost lost his life. And it was in a place where he said, at the end of your life, you're going to evaluate these 3 things. Did I live life to the best of my ability? Did I love everyone that I could and to the best of my ability? And did I actually matter and make a difference in the world? And you'll know if you did those 3 things if you put your attention in the right place. If your attention wasn't in the right place, then you're doing a whole bunch of little things that don't make a difference, and you'll get to the end of your life and realize you never really accomplished what was most important to you, and you'll live with that regret. 9, I want you to obsess over your energy. You gotta have this energy inside of you that says, you know what, I'm gonna get it in, I'm gonna get it done. But you obsess over the energy that you have within yourself. So that means obsess over the things that you eat, obsess over, the supplements that you have, working out, anything that you can do to help increase your energy. You need that because we all know when you're tired, you wiped out. You sleepy. You don't feel like doing nothing. We all know that already, right? Yeah, it's hard for you to it's hard enough for you to get out of bed when you're tired and want to go to work. So you know that it's hard. So you gotta obsess over your energy, what you're putting in your body. And then number 10, obsess over outcomes. This is one of the biggest things that I see that the highest achievers do. They obsess over the outcomes that they have in their life. So that means that they're more obsessive over, okay, What is my result? What do I want to get out of this? What do I want to? And what I'm saying, when I mean everything, I mean everything. That's what I'm talking about. I mean, before they go to meetings, they say, okay, what's the outcome and result that I want to get from this meeting? Before they meet with a person, what are the outcomes or results that I want to get from this person? Before they, go on stage to speak, or before they sell something, okay, what's the outcome that I want to have with this group, with this audience? What's the outcome? They're spending time with their family. What's the outcome that I want to have with my family? So it's once you start thinking in terms of outcomes, you'll start being able to say, all right, my life is really going the way I want it to go, because now I'm not just doing things all willy-nilly. Now I have a true aim that I want to do. Like the other day, I was watching a movie with my fiance, right? And well, I was trying to figure out a movie to watch, so I'm just taking a long time to figure out what movie I'm gonna watch, what movie we're gonna watch, and it just hit me. It just hit me while I was scrolling through the movies. I'm going through Netflix, and I'm like, you know what? It really doesn't even matter what movie you watch, because at the end of the day, it's not about watching this movie. It's really about spending time together. So I really don't even care what movie I watch, And she was seeing certain movies she wanted to watch. I was seeing certain movies I wanted to watch, and it's like, you know what? I really don't care. We could watch whatever movie you want to watch, or whatever the case is, because my goal is not even to watch this movie. My goal is really to make sure that we have a good, memorable time together. And the movie is just hitting. It's just playing. It really doesn't make a difference to me. But you will never know that, or even have the ability to think about that, if you're not obsessed over the outcome that you want to have. So start thinking of outcome. Start thinking in terms of results for everything that you do. Think of, what do I want to get out of this situation, and you'll be able to find out that now you're achieving more, and that is the true mindset of achievement. All right, so that's what we have, and that will be a wrap. This is the end of week number 1 of the More Productive Days course. So next week we'll get into week number 2, which will be more of the part 2 of the of week 1, because we still have a few more videos to go. And you'll be able to really dive deeper in the conversation of being more productive and getting things done, and getting more of that mindset and that mentality to be more productive and to make progress. All right, so until I see you in next week, make sure that you comment, you do everything that you need to do. Go through the exercises. Make sure you taking down notes. You writing the things that's most important to you. Some of the insights that you're having throughout these videos, and take these things and don't look at it as just, okay, this is nice. I want you to look at it as a checklist, and a checklist of, am I doing these things? So like, if we're looking at the mindset of achievement, I want you to look at, okay, well, am I being consistent? Okay, am I having faith every time it's time for me to go do something? All right, am I making sure, do I have a schedule? Okay, am I paying attention to where my energy, how much energy I have? Am I paying attention to what my schedule is? I want you to really look at this and check it off and do that. Okay, so you'll find this to be a lot more powerful. All right, so until I see you next week, continue to go out and do these strategies, grind, and make things happen. All right, and that's it. We officially finished week 1. Woo! Week 1. All right, so week 1 is done. Yeah, so I mean, that's it. Do you have any additional questions on what we just talked about in regards to mindset of achievement? So yeah, I mean, I think it was pretty much straightforward. So what I'll do is, since there's no questions, what I'm gonna do is, once this is done, I'm gonna stop recording, and then sometime during next week, I'm gonna make sure, or I'm gonna try, if I have some time this weekend, well, I guess the rest of tonight, I'm gonna try to put this up within the next few days, so you'll at least be able to refer back to it, and it'll be in the members area, so you can go back, look at it, comment, write your insights, whatever you want to do. All right. So if there's no more